Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerson.
And welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for a spirited discussion on whatever the moral or theme of that story was. And this time we have a listener story. And Zach is going to deliver this listener story.
So it's back-to-back listener stories.
Yeah, we're kind of shaking it up. We had two. We wanted to get them out there. And I think this one's a little unique, I think is the word.
Yeah, I think it's got a... I don't know which writer would have this twist, but it's got a... It goes in a different direction.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I'm trying. No, I think it's fun. I'm just trying to think of
how to explain.
You know what? You'll find out in the story. I wouldn't want to say Stephen King because he's such a bad writer, so I don't want to use that one.
Oh, that's like the second or third time you've picked on Stephen King. You know, if he ever listens to this,
I want to keep picking on him until he writes into the show.
You know what? He's one of those guys that gives rave reviews to anybody that likes his stuff. So be nice to him, and then maybe he'll be like, Smirk podcast, one of my favorite Everybody, let's bombard Stephen King on Twitter and see if he'll check out Smirk. There you go. Well,
Zach. Yeah, and then he's going to get to the first episode where I rag on The Dark Tower, and then he's going to be like, on second thought. I'm trying to egg him on into writing in a story, and then we'll have our own Stephen King story.
Would you read the whole thing if it's Stephen King?
Something tells me people would tune in.
Okay. All right. That's the challenge. Everybody ping Stephen King on Twitter and say, hey, Smirk, they take short stories and they read them on the air. Why don't you, Stephen King,
submit your own story?
If you think you're up to it, I mean, I don't know your level of writing. Write a short story and send it to Smirk.
I don't know if you're creative or anything, or if you like to do.
I mean, I'm not saying you're one of the best writers of all time or anything, but if you happen to think you are, send a little mystory@smirkpodcast.com. Just shoot it over there.
Shout out to the two most masterful storytellers of all time. We got to get a story from Stephen King and one from Mick G. Okay, those are the two.
Mick, the director.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of the worst storyteller I could think of.
Stephen King and the guy who did Charlie's Angels. Okay,
right.
Wow,
he did something else that was terrible. Terminator Salvation.
Oh God, that was bad. Yeah,
for a guy who did that.
Well, they had to mention John Connor at least 27 times. I don't think he wrote it though. I think he just directed it.
Yeah, well, he still didn't tell it.
When
he gave away his own twist of the trailer, man.
When your character runs around saying what his own name is over and over, you start to wonder if the character knows who he is.
Christian Bale does say John Connor a lot in that movie.
Yeah, for no reason.
Brief amnesia,
because he's John Connor.
He is. Guess who he is? John Connor.
Hey,
he's a yell at the lighting guy, though.
Wait, hold on a second. Who is he?
John Connor.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
And the vice president who shot himself in the face or whatever.
Yeah. All right, let's get on with the story. Who's this one from?
It's from Megan Riley Ayers. No relation to director David Ayer.
Has anyone asked her if she's up in the air? Air.
You're such...
Raise your hands up in the air.
You're such an embarrassment.
Are you one of those people?
He raised his hands. Yes, he did. He's raising the roof.
The roof is up.
He raised it like 8 times. Oh. He's above sea level.
You know what? Let's go ahead and hear her story. Ayer.
Why do you sound like a
gather around
seal?
That's the song.
Just shush up.
You sound like a seal, though. You look like one too right now.
All right,
from a rose.
Go ahead.
Gather on the campfire. It's time for a story. Every second of every day, we make decisions. Some minuscule and seemingly thoughtless, like blinking. Others, with more obvious impact, like ordering a salad instead of a cheeseburger and fries. As Freya stood in the street, powerlessly watching what was going on around her, she pondered what decisions she could have changed to have avoided this tragedy. Freya was a creature of habit. Every morning she did the same thing. Her alarm went off at 5 a.m. She would get up, throw on her running shoes, start her coffee pot, and go out for a jog. When she returned, she would take a shower, throw on the clothes she had carefully selected the night before, drink said coffee, eat a banana, and read the newspaper. She would be out of the door and off to work by 7:30 a.m. On this particular morning, things were different. There had been a power surge in the middle of the night, making her alarm clock useless. Her internal clock was usually effective in keeping her on schedule. However, an unplanned night of drinking to celebrate a promotion put her into a heavy sleep. As a consequence, she woke up at 7 a.m. She skipped her morning jog and morning paper. She took her coffee to go and headed out the door at 7:45 a.m. She wasn't the only one having a rough morning. Nearing her street was an older man heading to his doctor's appointment. It was originally scheduled for Thursday, but a last-minute phone call from the office requested a change. Greg had been trying to get out of it when his wife insisted he go. It was 7:42 as he turned down Freya's street. Across the street from Freya's house lived a single mother of 4. She was as frazzled as she was every morning, trying to get all her children to the car. Her youngest, son, came out of the house carrying his favorite red-striped ball and wearing no shoes. She told her daughter to help him into the car as she went back into the house to find his shoes, grumbling about how they were going to be late yet again. The daughter skipped ahead of the son, racing her sister for the front seat. The son dropped his ball and watched it roll into the street. He took off after it, as any little boy would do after his favorite ball. At exactly 7:45, the little boy stood in the middle of the street collecting his ball. Greg was fumbling with his air conditioning that seemed to be broken, and Freya's back was turned away as she locked her door. Suddenly, the boy's mother came out of the house carrying his little shoes and let out a terrifying scream. Greg heard that scream. Looking up, he was about to hit the boy, but he swerved to the right just in time, slamming instead into a telephone pole. The boy was fine. His mother ran into the street and hugged him. Unaware of the danger he had just faced, he smiled at her and showed her his ball. Greg was fine too. He's going to be a little sore, but the airbag protected him. The telephone pole was not fine, though. The car's impact caused it to crack, and it fell mere seconds after he hit it. Unfortunately for Freya, her house was close to the street. Hearing the woman scream, she had turned away from her door and stepped onto the sidewalk that led up to it. When the telephone pole came crashing down, she died instantly. Freya couldn't bring herself to look at her own body as they loaded it into the ambulance. Greg was crying hysterically on the phone with his wife as EMTs treated his minor wounds. The mother had returned to her home with her children. They were going to stay home today and appreciate being alive. As for Freya, she was finally reaching the accepting stage of her grief for her own life. It seemed unavoidable at this point to not accept that she was dead, especially with the man sitting next to her, repeatedly reminding her of her. "It is time to go, Freya," he said. "Will my mother be all right?" she asked him, looking away from the accident. "I'm her only child." "She will be fine. You can look in on her sometimes." "I can?" That made Freya feel better. "Yes. Now come, I have much to teach you." He seemed to be getting impatient. "Teach me about what? How to be a ghost?" Her voice dropped to a whisper when she got the word ghost. Would she ever be used to being dead? He smiled. "Your new job. You've been promoted." She was confused. Promoted to what? A Reaper.
Wow. That took a turn.
It did take a turn. Like a genre shift, I would say.
Yeah, I like that at the ending. A Reaper.
It reminds me of that show, Reaper.
Why is that?
Which happened to be about a Reaper.
I like that little
It did,
tongue
that's
click.
true.
You like that?
It was good. Foley artist, Aaron Peterson.
Stop. It's too much now.
Pretty soon it's pretty sexy.
No.
What do you guys think the moral of the story?
What's
God,
that?
Get it out of my ear.
It's getting
I just went
excessive.
from 6 to midnight. Anyway,
That's my Reaper impression.
what do you guys... Yeah, that's what every Grim Reaper sounds like.
He does. Hey guys, we're here to collect you.
That reminds me of a short story when I was in school. We had to make business cards for fake business, and I had the logo. I used the Grim Reaper, and it was a life collection service.
Oh, I like that. That would be fun.
It was fun. The teacher got very upset with me.
Seriously?
How old were you?
Yes.
Why would the teacher get upset that's creative?
I couldn't agree more, Aaron. Could not agree more.
Your teacher sucked.
Teacher's got no sense
How
of
old
humor.
were you?
I think 14. Yes, 14.
That's like a good age to be creative and not like weird about something like that. Like if a 6-year-old did that, I'd be a little weirded out.
Were you wearing all black and also drawing a picture of your teacher at the time? Because that could lead to some uncomfortableness.
On the back of the card, it said, "Mr. Smith, you're next."
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Like on the bag, it just says, "People to collect. Mr. Smith, number 1. Number 2, Mrs. Smith."
Number 3, Little
Kitty
Smith.
Oh, wow. Now you throw
Ooh.
kids into this.
Gangsta. Anyway, what do you guys think the moral of the story is?
Actions have consequences.
Ooh, nice.
Don't stare at accidents.
Ooh, those are both good guesses. I couldn't tell you what it is because she didn't give us one.
Oh.
Well, what do you think?
What do you think the moral is? You get to determine it then.
We all have a destiny.
Oh, I like that.
That makes more sense than don't stare at accidents. Yeah.
It's not a bad advice.
No, Amanda, you can't do the tongue thing.
I can't do it. I tried.
This kind of sounds sad, to be honest.
Yeah, she sounds very disappointed. Very disappointed. I am. Oh, that's pretty
now, Megan did not give us any questions. So it was up to me.
Oh, boy. Oh, Shamil.
And it's a death question or a death story. So
it's all about death. So you guys probably know me. You know my line of questions. Number 1. How freaking cool would it be to be a Grim Reaper, huh?
That would be interesting, but I don't know that I would ever be able to fulfill what I'm supposed to do. I'd get fired.
Think you could collect?
No.
I don't think you have the option. I don't think you get fired from being a Reaper. I think you
what are they going to do then?
Die.
It's like you're a freaking trooper and you got a quota. Bob, look, we've got six bodies you're supposed to collect. I got 3. When you going to go with the other 3, Bob? You're just sitting around drinking all day. You're a freaking Reaper. It's your job. Go give me my 6. Come on, let's go. That's what happens.
No.
It's like working on Jersey Shore.
But what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm already dead. You already made me a Grim Reaper. What happens if I don't do my job? Do I die again? I'm not going to collect anyone.
He lowers the scythe next to your grandmother's neck.
Oh, wow.
So now you gotta make a choice, Amanda. You gotta do your job?
This is like the
other
trolley
duties,
train question.
Other duties as assigned. That's what that is.
It's like that trolley train question.
What?
Philosophy.
It's not. No,
trolley train question.
Well, it would be if if I had to choose between my grandma and taking 6 other people's lives, it would exactly be that scenario.
It's not a choice. It's your job. It's your job.
Yeah.
But he made it a choice when he said your grandma's gonna die, or you have to take these people's lives.
No, that's what happens when you don't do your job.
You made it a choice when you would do your job. Sorry. You would make a choice, yeah.
You know what? If they employed these tactics at our other jobs, I would get my fries a lot faster.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do it.
And is it sad that I would probably get fired from being a Reaper? Because I would go.
Y'all just said you can't get fired. Now you can get fired?
I would be collecting people that weren't due. Aaron, you brought in 14 and only 3 of them are on the list. Yeah, no, but these guys were jerks. I saw them and they were just being rude. They were littering. I can't have that in my national parks.
Aaron, all they did was point out you had a gray hair.
Done.
Deserved
Bye.
it.
It's not so funny anymore, is it, Jim? There you go. Boom. Jim for the mailroom. Didn't like you before. Now I'm collecting your soul. Get out of here. I would totally get fired.
Jim was probably the guy who eats 2/3 of his steak and then complains that it was undercooked. Oh, so you know what?
Definitely.
Jim deserved to die.
Jim also probably doesn't use A1 sauce.
He's also
definitely
that guy that throws his wrapper on the road when he's driving. He's that guy. Sorry, Jim, you had to go.
I'm sorry, let me interject. If your steak is good enough, you don't need a sauce, all right?
If you make it correct, you don't need a sauce.
Wrong.
Could not agree more. Amanda can't eat steak right.
You can always have A1 sauce, even if it's just A1 sauce.
I guess I got 15 souls to collect.
Come take me, you promise?
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you get like a bonus. I would just be picking people. I'd go to Walmart and just start collecting people.
Why Walmart?
They're all there. It's quicker. How did you get 412 people? Don't ask questions.
I went through the express checkout.
Give me my bonus. Give me the new scythe.
I was going to make a very bad joke.
Do it.
What? If you want to collect 412 souls, all you have to do is go to the premiere of The Dark Knight.
Okay, moving on.
You told me to make the joke. I made the joke.
Yeah, you made it. I would probably we're going to move past it, but you made it.
You can feel free to cut that out.
Yeah.
Still funny. Just not 2018 funny.
No, exactly.
Nope.
For the record, I would love to be a Grim Reaper. That sounds awesome.
Why?
What a good job. You get to help people move on.
Wow. That's the most optimism I've ever heard you use, and it's about taking people's lives.
And you know what? Yeah, they get population control anyway, so maybe we need more Reapers.
7.5 billion is getting a little heavy. Topside.
I would start a recruitment drive if I were a Grim Reaper.
Are you getting tired of living above ground? Let the Reaper help you out.
He's going to leave those little cards everywhere.
Yeah, bring back the business cards.
Yeah.
It's like a new version of a Salvation Army. Your salvation. Join my army.
He's going to go to that 5th grade teacher, Mr. Smith, And he's going to
I
say...
was 14. I hope you have better math than that.
Oh,
That's okay.
yeah, that's right. You said you were 14. He's going to go back to his 9th grade teacher.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah.
And say, hey, it's your turn.
It's a good thing you bring up Mr. Smith, because, second question, I'm sure we covered this before. Do we all believe in fate here? Do y'all believe in fate? Was this incident fated to occur? Final Destination style?
I don't even remember what I said about fate. So where do I stand on fate?
You can have a new
today?
opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really depends on my mood, and that's how opinions work, right? New facts, feed it, and it becomes a new opinion.
If you can't allow your opinion to change, then you can't allow yourself to change. You're gonna be miserable.
I don't really believe in fate. I really believe you make your own course. You can chart your own existence. So no, not really.
Perfect. It's the correct answer.
So fate, well, if you are religious, I would think that you would believe in fate because God would outline your life for you.
I don't think that's what religion means.
Well, an all-knowing, all-powerful
he knows, you don't.
Right, but if he knows, then that means he knows how the course is going to go. And if it was, then it's fated.
It's all in God's plan.
Yeah, so it's fated. I
guess that's one way to look at it.
It is. That's how
religion is just a construct for control, man. Wake up.
Wow, that's not really where I was going with it.
Easy. Well, we always knew that was going to happen. That was fate.
Yeah. There's too many variables. One thing changes and that creates the butterfly effect. So I don't want to say that it's fated that the decisions you'll make will be made. But I don't know. It's something that we'll never really know.
I don't believe in fate. Too many things happen that drastically alter people's lives. Somebody close to them dies. It changes how they perceive things for the future.
It could still be fated to be that way, though.
They have they get their ass beat in a parking lot, and then from there on out, it changes how their entire life is lived. So I don't believe in fate.
But here's the thing.
Random things. I believe in ripple effects, butterfly effects, more than I believe in fate.
But wait. Because if it's fate, that doesn't mean that your course in life can't be altered.
You were always going to get your ass beat in that parking lot. You were always going to blah, 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 blah. I don't believe that.
I'm just saying.
Because I could have walked away from that fight. I didn't. But is that fate, or is that just...
Or is it your
choice?
It becomes, do you believe that you have control of your own decisions or not?
If you believe in fate, you don't believe it's a choice. And I believe it's a choice. Because if it's fate, you are always going to make that choice.
Then you're not religious. You're not Christian.
I
don't think that's how that works.
I don't think that's how that works.
That's how Christianity is. That's how the basis works.
I was raised in a church. That's not how it was.
Studied a little religion. That's how it works.
Okay.
Yes, 12 different Christians, their interpretation of the Bible, you're going to get 12 different answers.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm talking specifically from how you read the Bible.
Well, that's every one of them will interpret it different. No, it's not.
Yes. People who have studied religion, that is how it works.
It is.
Most people that study religion aren't religious, so it's kind of hard to take them at face value.
Well, the person who taught me was religious. Okay. That's their belief, but that doesn't...
Yeah, that was one person. So one person taught you their one point of view.
It doesn't change...
Now, I hate religion, but...
It doesn't change the core findings of it, and it doesn't change the logic behind it. The logic behind religion, behind God. A God is an all-powerful...
There's not logic behind it. It's faith that fundamentally puts aside logic in favor of emotion.
Christianity
you're choosing to believe in something.
You're choosing to believe in God's plan, which would mean that it's already fated and set out for you. If you believe that, then you don't believe you have the choices, as we've already decided, because if you believe in fate, you don't believe that you have control of your own choices. They are choices that you're going to make because God has chosen that you are going to make those choices.
Yeah, I'm leaving God out of this. I'm just saying I don't believe in fate. Because I don't agree with you, and I don't want to argue for 27 minutes.
I've never found myself fighting for religion before. This is a first for me.
Well, we're pretty much polar opposites.
I will say, when it comes to religion, this is where I rarely agree with Zach on religious things, but you ask 12 different people, you will get 12 different answers.
I'm not saying that
I understand what you're saying with the core principles, but I think you can interpret that in different ways. So God's plan doesn't necessarily mean it was always going to work out that way. God always knew it was going to work out that way. Doesn't mean it could have went 47 different ways, but God knew God's plan was all of them. So it's a lot more open to vagueness than it is to...
It's still fated. Because it's already, if he knows what the end course is going to be able to know that end course, you have
That's what God wanted. That's essentially what they're saying is that if you live your life a certain way or things happen, horrible things happen, and then it's because that's what God wanted. It's part of God's plan. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always going to end up in the same scenario that was always fated. I don't agree with that.
It's not about always ending up in the same scenario. It's your ending point was already chosen.
And I don't agree with that. Because
this is going nowhere fast.
The whole construct of religion is for man to make his own choices.
If you believe that anybody knows the end point, to know the end of the movie,
I don't believe that.
The movie
I
would
believe
have to
God
be set up
says
that way.
you have freedom of choice. You have free will. You choose your path.
But if you have
But it's
free
all
will,
part
then
of God's plan. I don't see it. What that means is not what you say it means. That's what I'm saying.
Then argue with every philosopher. I'm just telling you that if you have...
Philosopher is not the same as someone...
Well, first of all, that's a complete fallacy. If you argue with every philosopher has a different viewpoint. That's why there's schools of philosophy.
Agreed. When it comes to religion, everybody fights about every aspect of it.
So anyway, in the words of John Connor, there ain't no fate but what you make. So Freya was caught in a loop of routine, right? Every single morning she got out the door by 7:30. And the one time there was a variable... and got her killed. Do you think routine is important? Do you have a routine yourself?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Not every day. I do too many different things for my life to be that routine.
You know,
I have a structure for how I get ready. I do things in that particular order, but every day does not end up being the same. My day just isn't.
Yeah, actually, my routine is pretty structured. I do the same things pretty much every day. And then there's a variable, and then I'm a ghost. So I have to do them the same every day. I don't want to be a ghost.
Lose yourself?
I don't want to be Patrick Swayze, man. I just don't.
You want to make Clay? Or whatever the hell he was doing?
I would totally make Clay with Demi Moore. Yeah, I would do that. Never mind. I take it back.
That's Demi Moore. Forgot she was a thing.
30 years ago. I don't think she's a thing anymore.
Yeah, she was for Ashton Kutcher for a while.
No, bazinga.
Do you eat dinner at the same time every night, Amanda?
Nope.
Nice. Yeah,
sometimes I don't eat breakfast. Sometimes I do eat breakfast. Sometimes I eat lunch at 11:30. Sometimes I can't eat lunch till 3 p.m. Sometimes I don't get to eat the whole day.
Are you proud? So you're proud?
No, it's just
not having a routine.
No, I've adjusted to it. My life every day isn't able to be the same routine.
Routine makes us who we are, right? For the most part. I mean, that's even if you're chaotic with your structure, that's who you are. So routine kind of just determines how you function as an adult.
That's an interesting thought. Because sometimes I'll catch myself if I keep doing the same thing, like for a week straight. If I drink a latte every morning, then I will force myself to snap out of it because I refuse to have a routine.
Why?
That's kind of in its own way, a bit of a routine.
Do you have like commitment issues to your lattes?
No, I just, you know what's dangerous?
Conformity.
Feeling safe.
That's
what's dangerous.
You like to change it because you don't want to go out and get a latte at the same time every morning because then everybody knows your routine. And then like at 6:30 a.m., Zach's going to get that latte. That's how we get them and throw them in the van and take them.
I
don't necessarily think I don't think the Dharma Initiative is trying to kidnap me or anything. I just think I don't get caught in a loop, man. There's too much life to experience. Why would I want the same latte every day at the same time?
Understood.
Well, obviously you really like it if you keep going back.
Right, and that's great. Hey, you know what? I'll probably have that latte again, but you know what? I can't resign myself to that latte. I can't let that latte control me.
Well, you could. It would be weird. I don't know why coffee would want to control you. I don't know if it works.
There's so many people who let coffee control them. I wouldn't have a career if people didn't let coffee control them.
That's true.
I drink it every day, so I can't really judge.
Yeah, it is an open and traded drug.
Well, we went from the afterlife to lattes.
On Smirk.
Yay!
Yeah, do you guys think this story is truth or fiction?
Do you believe in ghosts or not?
No, we've established this on Smirk.
True.
Well, we know who's the only person that believes in them then. False. False. So false. Because how's she going to write a story if she's dead?
She's a reaper. She left a note.
She's a reaper, not a reader.
She left a note.
Megan is a reaper who wrote in.
That would actually be kind of awesome. Like if we get another one. I'm actually a reaper, jackasses. So maybe we should treat my story with respect.
First of all, Zach's business cards are great and improve business 200%.
I've been handing them out left and right. And by the way,
Like I
Mr.
said-
Smith just showed up.
That guy sucks.
Yeah.
So that's not really his name, but he knows who he is.
So is it fake?
I've got no answer here. Wasn't told. I would err on the side of fiction because, as I've established in previous Smirks, to some people's chagrin, ghosts aren't real.
There you go.
And it's
I had a
ridiculous to think
ghost
that
in
they
my
are.
house.
You
It's
probably had
utterly
a
ridiculous to think
creaky
that.
floorboard.
No, it moved.
Yeah, if you move
is
stuff,
ridiculous.
it moves.
Oh my God, no. Nope.
This
not
is
like
proof
this.
that you need some help.
Oh my God. I'm
That's what
done
that
with
is.
y'all.
There are professionals who deal with people who think they have ghosts. Ghostbusters.
And the Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
I would much rather go to the Scooby Gang.
What's the title of Megan's Tale?
The Promotion.
Oh,
Because they got promoted.
to the Reaper?
Yes.
It's a
where
promotion.
Where do you go from there? Is there like a executive Reaper?
I think you work your way up the ladder and then you become Satan's boy.
Well, not just
Or
Where's it got-
girl.
not just Satan's
Okay.
people are
No.
picking up dead people, right? I mean, the Reaper kind of works for both
Yeah, you're
sides.
right. Angel of Death, kind of a neutral party almost.
Yeah, he's like, look, guys, I'm not taking any sides. I'm just saying.
I'm just bringing the dead
I'm
people,
just- I'm
okay?
just-
Here's their souls.
Oh, maybe your promotion, you get to be one of the circuit judges who decides whether or not your soul goes to heaven or hell.
And then you get to star on The Good Place.
You know what
I've
meeting?
never heard
Ted
you know,
of
Danson.
that.
you know what meeting I want to be in? The one where they, whoever the afterlife people come together and they start talking about the peoples on Earth that are still alive, and they're like, why are they just keeping them all in that big yard with all the giant cement plaques? Why don't they just burn them up? We gave them a cremation thing. Just grind them on up. Use that land.
Okay, you saying graveyards are a waste of space?
I'm not, see, now I don't want to use those words,
George
but
Carlin
since
did.
Zach did,
but since George Carlin did, yeah, we'll say we can make homeless shelters on those. Of course, they'd be haunted.
Hey, you know what else? Let's get rid of golf courses. Let's get on that same soapbox, guys.
You know what? If they would, like Carlin said, make golf courses out of, or make homeless shelters out of them, I would be okay with that.
Yeah, it is a ridiculous use of space. It's fine anyway.
Anyway,
Those ridiculous pants and a bunch of curse words I can't use that George Carlin could. Look it up, people.
I like
That
golf,
man
but I
that man
still,
was ahead of his time.
I still prefer the land be put to better use, probably.
Yeah, golf is fun.
Mhm.
But I could give it up. But anyway, that was that, guys.
Well, Megan, thank you. As our show goes, if you want to contribute, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read and discuss in Smirk. We've had 2 in a row, so we'll be having our own for the next round. But if you'd like the chance to have yours read, email it to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. You can join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter @smirkpodcast. And be sure to use the show's hashtag Smirk. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk on your podcast app of choice. Check out our website at smirkpodcast.com. And please leave us a review in whatever podcast app you listen to us. You want to take us out? Reaper?
And remember, as you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Was that your Reaper voice?
No, that wasn't that dangerous. With a smirk.
no, you can do better.
That sounded like Venom.
Sweet.
Like a turd in the wind.
It's like
Yeah.
it's a dream come true. That movie was so good.